A question from Stu, so another Stuart. Tips on catching grayling on dry fly. And he did mention that he struggles to catch grayling on dry fly. Have I got any top tips to help him improve his catch rate? It's interesting, but I fish with a lot of people, and a lot of people sometimes think grayling quite difficult to catch on dry fly. And I don't mean to sound really cocky or big-headed, but I'm going to be, so I apologise for that. I've never really found it a problem. So let's just get that clear, because I don't want that seed planted in my head to undermine my confidence in relation to catching grayling on dry fly. Confidence, I think, is a key factor. If you go out and you think, I'm going to struggle to catch them, then probably you might. But if you go out with a confident attitude to think, aha, I'm going to catch that one, then fantastic. Just a little thing about grayling. The grayling's mouth is downshift, where trout's mouth is like that, grayling's is down. So think about a fly coming across the surface. A grayling comes up with its down mouth. For it to take the fly, it almost has to do a compound rise. Take the fly and then to turn and go back down. I think the most common mistake that people make when they're fishing dry flies for grayling is they do not give them enough time to turn on the fly. So if I do this in slow motion, the grayling comes up with its mouth, takes the fly, it then has to turn down. When it's down there, you can set the hook. If at the point it comes and takes the fly, you're probably pulling it out because of the shape of its mouth. That's the top tip in relation to that. Give them a bit more time. That can be a matter of half a second or 1 second, and don't be frightened to give it quite a long time. If they've got it and they haven't been spooked and they haven't felt the hook or felt the leader, they'll be fine. There's one other top tip I'll give you for grayling fishing. Because grayling are generally living on the bottom of the river, and therefore they need to come up. For them to see the fly on the surface and the grayling being there, they see the fly from a further distance away. So by the time the fly comes along, the fish will then move up to interject it. If I cast that fly to where I see the rise, and that fish is down there, the fly's gone past it before it's seen it. I need to cast the fly in advance of the rise and to give it quite a lot of lead. And for grayling, a minimum, depending on the floors, it's like a lot of things with fishing, there's variations, but generally give them as much lead on the fly as you can. So in other words, try to give them at least a metre lead, sometimes even more. But remember, the more lead that you put in, there's a bigger risk that drag's going to set in. And if drag sets in, as I keep saying, that is a no-no for dry fly fishing. And grayling, more than any other, can spot a fly that's got the tiniest amount of micro drag. So when you're planning that, think, how do I present the fly? How do I present it with a long lead? And of course, depending on the depth of the fish, will make a difference of how much lead to what they're going to need. And then think, how do I avoid any micro drag? And just to make it a little bit more complicated, the grayling can actually feed on such a fine line that if your fly was 6 inches that side, they will not look at it. If it's an inch away from that line, they will not look at it as well. So your presentation has to be accurate. So let's just sum that up. For grayling, give your dry fly or emerger plenty of lead. In other words, a minimum of a metre, possibly more, depending on the flow and the depth. Secondly, avoid drag at all costs. Thirdly, make sure that fly is absolutely on the line of where the fish is feeding. And lastly, don't be scared to give them quite a bit of time. If you've done the other 3 things right, they will not have sensed any danger, and they'll have it. You can give it sometimes 1-2 seconds before you just lift and tighten. Thanks for that question, Stu. Give it a go. Follow those tips and advice and let me know how that works for you.